Okay, this could go wrong. Might not. Hi, everybody. Another horror film director today. The very strange Lucio Fulci, who, excuse me, who made some great films and some completely batshit crazy films. With some extreme gore. A lady coughing up the whole contents of her insides. Go for it. Man getting his head drilled all the way through from one side to the other. No problem. No problem, I can do that. Mental films. That's the same film. City of the Living Dead. Blimey. Viewers of a nervous disposition should probably not watch it. Okay, now, excuse me, still had a bit of a cold, so just a bit throaty. Right, now, Lucio is wearing spectacles, which keep me concentrating. I always find difficult to get right in terms of I'll end up with one half of it, one lens, not bigger than the other. But if I'm just going straight in with pen, things like that are going to happen. Just have to accept it. And I will. Lucio made a lot of films across many genres, across many genres of cinema, mainly in the, I suppose you'd call it exploitation, that side of cinema, horror, sex comedies, crime films. He also often appeared in these films himself, little cameos. My favourite of his is Don't Torture a Duckling, which is really great, with Barbara Boucher and Thomas Millian, who's one of my favourite actors. He's really cool in that film. His clothes are great. So I'm not bothered about how he looks. So this, I think, this drawing, it could be difficult if I'm expecting it to turn out, if I want it to turn out like the photograph that I'm drawing from, and I do. With glasses, it's always a struggle to know when to start applying the curve. Yeah, the corners of things can be quite difficult. Sometimes it helps if you do what I'm doing and draw bits and then work on some of the inside details before coming back. So just a little marker there to see if that's where I should be working with the eye, and it is. Yeah. quite difficult. I'm kind of leaving the main frame of the glasses till later. It's not for any other reasoning that I don't want to do it, because I know that it could go a little bit wrong. I mean, it'll still be okay, just be a bit wonky. I bet if you look at a lot of drawings of people with glasses on, that maybe they're all a bit wonky. Because they don't need to be spot on as much as they need to look like glasses. We need to know what they are. And I think that's the important bit. But still, it does help to have it vaguely realistic. That is, I sing that a lot. It's a little tune by a French musician called Etienne Chary, whose album I discovered. There was an internet radio station back in like the early 2000s called Space Lab. Excuse me, sorry, I just need to correct this. There you see. And it was really, really good. It played a lot of indie stuff that I didn't know about. And it played a tune by Etienne Cherry called Pas ici la monnaie. Pas ici la monnaie. Really great tune. I think it got used in an IKEA advert eventually. It's really, really good, and that led me to the album called 36 Errors. Not sure how to pronounce it in French. 36 Errors, 36 mistakes. There were 36 tracks on the album. A lot of them were like a minute long and stuff. It was really inspirational to me. I did sort of copy that concept in one album that I made. Of just a quick snippet of a song, and the minute it just gets going, you stop it and you move on and cut straight into another song. White Denim did it on their first album too. That was really good album as well. Right, I'm gonna have to do these glasses at some point. Also, this ink's wet. If I go over here, I'm in danger of getting wet ink on my hand. I'm also obscuring that, so I can't see that to compare the size when I'm drawing this. So I think we're about there. Tension. I mean, there we go. I mean, you can see their glasses, but look, that goes in and that one's straight. And this is straight as well. It shouldn't be going in like that. That sort of corrected it a little bit. I don't think anyone's going to be saying, "Oh, you got the glasses wrong." But still, I'm conscious of it. But I'm not that bothered. Ooh, stretched my arm. I was feeling a little bit tense then. Right, so I can move on. Move down to that. You see in that, pushing down with the brush and then sort of lifting up to make the line thinner. This is Pentel brush pen, by the way. It's really good. The only issue I have with it, and I can't show you on this camera because I've got autofocus turned off. There's very like single piece of, don't know what you'd call it, threads in the brush. I'm going to call them threads that sticks out, and I don't want that. I thought about cutting it off, but I'm worried that might be the wrong thing to do. But I work with it. It's just sometimes you put your pen down and you get, I can do it there. You see, it's just, don't know. Maybe I need to get a new one. Just doing the tash. I'm going to do is here we go. Excuse me. I'm concentrating a lot on this one. I've gone quiet. I've gone very quiet. Always up to no good. You go quiet. And you got kids in the house, and suddenly they stop making noise. That's the time to go and check on them. I'm sure my wife says the same about me. Just give the beard a bit of roughness on the edge. You think beards these days? All the hipsters who have beards, and hipsters and older celebrities who've got inexplicably dark beards that don't match the hair. I'm looking at you, Edmonds. And the line they have round the beard is ridiculously perfect. And like it's been drawn on. And maybe it is, it's just striking me, maybe it has been drawn on. It's probably been painted in, hasn't it? With the dye. Not suggesting that Edmonds uses dye on his beard. But I think he does. What is it? Dye the beard, but don't dye the hair. Stupid. I love that Lucio Fulci, this maker of some of the most horrific, gory, horrible scenes you could ever think of, looks like he does with his glasses on a string. He looks like an accountant. And he said, "We shall have the guts pouring out of the lady's mouth." Kill, kill, kill. extreme gore. Some of his films are just ridiculous. And I still kind of hate gore in films, but I don't know, it's so extreme that it makes sense. Um, that it's fine, and also it's the acting. I don't know, acting these days has kind of become. I don't know. It feels too realistic the way that actors may behave in horror films. The screaming, the terror that they portray, and is, that they put through is just horrific and very hard to watch. Yet when you're seeing a film where a woman's guts basically all come up out through her mouth, it's kind of easy to remove yourself from it because that's not realistic. So there's an element of comedy to it almost. Not that I sit there laughing, but you know what I mean, I think. Concentrating on this 'cause it's not my usual hand. I've just noticed and realised that I'm getting it right now, but I find it not as natural to vary the pressure on the brush when I'm using this hand. So I'm trying to be conscious of that. I notice that I'm just going straight in and pushing down really hard with it, which I wouldn't do with my left hand. My left hand's more dexterous, is that the word? I've got more control, basically, in levels of pressure. Levels of pressure, that sounds like a great 80s funk album. Maybe Level 42, didn't it? Because there's something about you, baby, tonight. Dum 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 bum dum 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 bum dum 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 bum dum dum dum. World's biggest thumb, Mark King. World's biggest thumb. I can't prove that, but that's my theory. From all the slapping that he does. Yeah. Oh, yes. Just some general guff round here. Yeah. Okay. Guff is what I'm calling it. I know it means pump as well. I know. Hmm. Now, just put that in. I'm at a stage where his suit is all black, and wondering whether to go and get some ink to use to do that. Oh, not. Maybe it's a bit late now. I've not prepared, so I'll get cracking in the with this brush pen. It just uses all the ink in here. Art is it's one of those hobbies where you do start becoming aware of how much you're spending. And you start thinking, oh, if I do this thing that's got a lot of black in it, it's going to be using more materials, it's going to cost me more. So hey, like and subscribe. Let's get to, maybe one day I'll have enough followers where YouTube might pay me some money. I'm not banking on it. Of course, this is why artists sell their work. I don't know if anyone, well, it's stupid if you do go into art to make money. I think a lot of people go into selling art because they need to buy more materials to make more art. I think people make art because they can't help it. I certainly do. I would like to make a living from it. I don't think I ever will. But ultimately, I just like making it. And I need to pay for it. I need to buy materials. So that's why I sell my art. And don't worry, it ticks over. I don't... I won't stop because I'm going to run out of money. My art paid for all the gear I'm using today, including the camera, the laptop I'm recording on, the iPad that I've got in front of me with the photo reference. So that's good. It does mean I have a hobby that pays for itself, which is great. But yeah, ink. So I was talking about that because I'm using all this ink. The opposite is kind of brought into play when I'm doing lino cuts, which I've not done for ages. I try and make as much of a lino cut as black as possible, which does use more ink, but it also means that there's less cutting involved, because all the bits that you don't cut will be taking the ink, and so they'll be black in my case usually. So lazy. Whereas this is more work and more ink, right? But I've done that. Now I need to just let that little bit dry. So I'm going to switch to the pen for detail. I'm just going to have a drink for my brew, coffee. I don't know if there are any noises on the camera, then it could have gone all ASMR, isn't it? But ASMR, don't do any of that shit in here, mate. We're not that kind of club. So, so let's get going with all the little scuffs and guffs. Just little marks there. There is some shade in this bit though. it's actually a lot darker in here. This is obviously the bit that takes all the time. Although you're kind of just colouring in at this stage. Quite enjoy doing all these. They do bring it to life. Now I've got bloody level 42 stuck in my head. What's your favourite level 42 song? That one I sang something about you. Not saying, I'm not sure I have a favourite, but I do like the bass line in it. Boom, 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 boom. This bit here, by the way, is too big, but that doesn't matter. You'd only notice if you saw the photograph, I think. I'm just telling you, showing you what you can get away with. This bit here needs to be darker. You need to know that it's these glasses. They are kind of got transparent frames, so, but we need to see that they're glasses. Give it some solidity. Always some shadow around here. That is easy to forget to put in. That's good though. Yes. Tomorrow is film night at my house. Becky's out at book club. It's when I watch a film that she's probably not going to be interested in. Usually horror. I may watch Terror, directed by Norman J. Warren. But I'm also wondering whether to watch that Frank Zappa documentary. I'll decide tomorrow. But if anyone's watching, feel free to recommend stuff. I think preferably horror. this gonna take some doing. Trying to get a beard feel with my strokes. This beard's made up of lots of short hairs. It's not a long beard, but it's not stubble. So you need to try and get that impression of those hairs. And there's lots of little bits where it's darker, where the light's not hitting it. They're extremely three-dimensional beards. It's not just a flat expanse of hair on the face. Bristles are crazy. If you're a man and you're not sure, you've never had a beard, and you want to draw one, grow one. You get an idea of how it feels. If you're a lady and you can't grow a beard, or indeed if you're a man and you can't grow a beard, or any gender in between, if you're unable to grow a beard, basically, you may be a small child. Find someone with a beard. Hopefully, well, make sure it's someone you know well, and ask if you can have a good old feel of that beard. Study it. Get to know your friend's beard. Maybe your partner, maybe your dad, maybe your mum. Study the beard. Draw the beard. That's going to be the name of this video, I think. Study the beard. Makes all the difference though, this beard to the drawing. Really does. It's just going to move over here. Excuse me. Very lucky with this cold that it's not been COVID. Very lucky. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, yeah, looking good. His lips now. Do the more typical hatching under lips, so that because they need to be darker, but they don't want to be looking like his beard. So you use the more uniform lines. Here we go. And then the shadow on this side. I think I hold the pen differently with this hand as well. This is how I hold it with my left hand. Doesn't feel right with the right. You see I'm going over the lines. It doesn't matter. It may not show up on the screen anyway. There we are. There's always this bit of the ear, the lobe, usually in shade. The lobe. Strange word. Number 3. The lobe. It's like something off the White Album. Number 3. The lobe. The lobe. This needs to be darker. I'm going to turn page round for a minute and freak you out because it just needs to be quite a bit darker. It's like roundness in the shading, the hatching. Yeah, that's made it a bit darker. And oh, not quite. Just this is gonna be darker there. Now he's got a tie on, which is not actually in the photo. I can tell there's one there. So I'm just gonna make this bit dark. Yep, that looks better. And that, horror fans, is Lucio Fulci. Go and grab your pens. Go and get some paper. Go and find a photograph of him. Draw him yourself. See ya.